welcome. We're going to start in to Unit 1, Lesson 1. This lesson is all about dialogue, and here's our objective. I hope by the end you can say, I can use dialogue effectively to develop the characters and plot in a narrative. This unit is all about narrative, and it's really important to be able to use dialogue to highlight your characters and plot. It will make it much more engaging. So, our essential question for this lesson is, how can I use dialogue to effectively develop the characters and plot in a narrative? We're going to start in with why dialogue matters. Here's a joke. A man marches into a magic forest and begins to cut down a talking tree. "You can't cut me down," the tree complains. "I'm a talking tree." The man quickly responds, "You are indeed a talking tree. Therefore, you will still dialogue." Or dialogue. Har har. So, my question for you is, what do you notice about the dialogue in this joke? I'll pause and give you a few seconds to think about that. All right. So, let's see. Hopefully you noticed a few of these things. So dialogue shows more than it tells. When we use dialogue, we get to know our characters because we hear them talking and their personality comes out. So again, the author is showing when they're writing, and it also helps us understand the plot. We know that in this short story that the problem is that the tree is going to get cut down, and we see how the characters are involved in that. So let's jump into 4 rules to remember about using dialogue. Use quotation marks to indicate the words that are spoken by characters. So this is crucial to remember. Words that are spoken. These are the exact words. So what might this look like? Here's an example for you. "Help me" are the exact words spoken by the character. Another rule to remember is always make sure that you know who is doing the talking. So in this, who's doing the talking? Correct, the little girl. You can sometimes, it can be inferred by the way it's written, and if you're in a conversation between 2 people, then you could probably infer it. So you as the author just need to make sure that it's clear to your reader. A third rule is to begin the first word of the quotation with a capital letter, and then place end punctuation inside the quotation marks. So we got first word of the quotation with a capital letter, and then end punctuation inside the quotation marks. So what's that look like? Here's an example for you. We got our first word right here. So help is the first word, so we capitalize that, and then end punctuation is inside those quotation marks right there. Okay? Along with that is another important rule. Let me click off of that, perhaps. Maybe not. Here we go. So, number 4, if the quote is not a question or an exclamation, and we know question has a question mark like this, and an exclamation point looks like this, you use a comma and not a period before the second quotation marks. And an example of this is, "I bought a new jacket yesterday," Tammy said. And you can see a comma was used right here instead of a period before the second quotation marks there. and then the sentence will end with a period. So again, that situation is if it's not a question or an exclamation, use a comma. So that's a wrap. Way to learn how to use dialogue. Don't forget to use your notes that you've been taking using Cornell notes or whatever style you prefer. We will be reviewing notes. So use those notes to help you remember how to use dialogue to effectively develop the characters and plot in your narrative so you are ready for your mastery check. Way to go. Good luck.